Welcome to the Diversity Pivot Podcast. I'm your host, Julie Kratz, and this season we will be unpacking real trends, hot topics in the workplace around allyship and inclusion. Our goal is that each week you leave with tangible tools, information, practical strategies that you can take back to allies at your organization. Let's dig in to this week's topic. Hi, listeners. Today I am with Leeatt Rothschild, and she is the founder and CEO of Pact with Purpose, a corporate and personal gifting company that gives back. She's a thought leader on using business as a force for good and the power of gifting and strengthening relationships. Welcome to the show, Leeatt.
Thanks so much for having me, Julie.
Tell me about Pact with Purpose. How'd you get the idea? How'd you get this started?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we're a corporate and personal gifting company. I had the initial idea a handful of years ago. I was consulting to chief sustainability officers and marketing executives, helping them basically take their CSR, corporate social responsibility dollars, and investing them to have a financial return on the business, but also a social impact. And it was, a cold day in December in Chicago. Our office was riddled with the traditional, corporate gift basket. And I just had this moment where I realized companies are so eager to do good, but the exchange of thank you and gratitude was devoid of any kind of impact. And I really wanted to create a better gift, a gift that companies could give to their clients or employees or, conference attendees that really spoke to the values that they had and the impact that they wanted to achieve. And so that's where I got the initial idea.
Yeah, I struggle with that too for gifts. It's actually it's quite relevant right now because just did a big event and wanted to send thank you gifts to people after the event because it was too hard to bring them to the event. And I've gotten so many swag bags and journals and just stuff usually I give it to my daughter. It's just great intentions, but not necessarily super impactful. What tips do you have for people that want to give something meaningful? Like what's the thought process around that?
Yeah. Well, obviously I started Pact with Purpose, to address what you just talked about, where the intention and the thought is there, but it just doesn't land well for the recipient. And to be honest, I empathize with gift givers because you have limited time and money, and you're giving a gift as a thank you, but your business isn't gift giving. And so it's hard to spend a lot of time and energy in finding the perfect gift for every single person. So, I really empathize with, gift givers. And that's why I started Pact with Purpose, where, we're trying to make it really effortless to give a gift that leaves an impression and that is actually going to be appreciated. So, it's hard for me to not give a plug for Pact with Purpose because the whole idea is to be able to give a really thoughtful gift that the recipient is going to enjoy. But beyond Pact with Purpose, what I always say to folks that are considering using our gifts or, any other company is the most important piece of real estate that you have is your gift message card. So take the time to send a gift message that actually reflects the intention behind your gratitude or, whatever is the reason you're sending a gift, because regardless of the contents of the gift, your ability to express why you're giving a gift is the most important thing that's actually going to resonate. So just taking advantage of that, I think is, don't assume that you saying thank you for a referral is going to be obvious. Actually express why that referral was really important or why you're so grateful someone took time out of their day to be a conference speaker or to be a repeat client.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that real estate with the thank you note. And if you can handwrite, there's so many anymore, we don't handwrite anything,
Yeah.
right? Not always
Yeah,
possible, but a personalized message goes a long way. Yeah,
definitely.
I keep the handwritten notes in my office for a little while, usually when I get them. And so you're right, it does strike a chord. Just rare, and underused and simple and very inexpensive,
Totally.
usually. But Leah, if people want to give an actual gift, like a physical something, rather than the basket or the swag bag or whatever people are inclined to do, what's the thought process behind like thinking more creatively? Like what would you offer to our listeners to think outside that narrow, kind of outdated gift giving model?
Yeah. Okay. So there's lots of ways you could think about this. One is, if you're giving a gift, let's say to mark the anniversary of your company, you might think of something that is personal to the company that would actually be, you know, impressionable or would be striking and noteworthy to the recipient. So that's one way to think about the gift. It could also be, if you're sending gifts to clients because now they've been working with you for a certain amount of time, it could be a gift that either has meaning from the company standpoint or maybe aligns with, the values. So it might be a gift that is produced by individuals or a company, a small business, in your hometown. Or it might be a gift like a pact with purpose where there's some kind of meaning or intention behind the gift beyond it just being a basket of goodies or a bunch of, branded swag. And so there's different ways to think about it, whether it is taking your point of view and the occasion that you're giving the gift, or you're thinking about what might resonate with my, recipients. And so if it's, let's say, a financial services company or some kind of professional services company, if you're sourcing local and you're, again, restating that, right? Like, as a small business, we're excited to give you products and give you a gift that is, empowering a woman-owned business in the, Detroit area or Chicagoland area. That really underscores why you sent this gift over anything else.
Yeah, what I'm hearing you say is the why behind the gift is so important.
That
Like, this
is
is
a good
why.
summary.
Yeah. I mean, and why is this the thing that I picked for you? Um, a couple things our team does, and you feel free to weigh in your feedback on this. We've really struggled with this over the years, so we've done different things. We planted of all things an Etsy shop that is run by is a diverse led business, which supports our mission. And they do these personalized candles. So they'll just say like
Right.
you're awesome or like get shit done. I mean, it's just fun little designs.
Yeah,
But it smells really good and people put it on their desk. And even if it only lasts, a week or two or however long people burn candles or keep them around, you got to think, that's something that they're gonna, get have some fun with the message and a personalized note to your point. We've also tried like giving to nonprofits. So we have our own nonprofit, the Little Allies, which I try to, if someone asks, like you said, for like, hey, you gave me a referral, I'll give you $100 or something. It's like it. Actually, it would make a lot more sense
yeah,
if you don't mind giving a donation to my nonprofit. That would mean so much more to me. So, and trying to curb that too proactively on the gift receiving side of like, please don't send me
totally.
and even like money, it just means so much more in a nonprofit for me than it does a for-profit business where corporate, writes checks much bigger than that. So anyway, just to summarize my perspective on that, but I'm still curious, like if somebody's still struggling with like, how do I even decide? Because I find it's hard to find places like Etsy has like a page that we found for diverse led businesses, but like and there's like these nonprofit giving sites, but like, how do you walk people through that process? Can you get like granular with how you help people
Yeah.
decide how to do that?
Um, so there's a lot of ways you could approach this. One, if you're looking for, again, it's sort of like, what is the theme or the ethos or the values that you want to communicate? If you're focused on women-owned businesses, there are so many guides to find women-owned businesses. And if you want to double down and you're like, well, I want a woman-owned business that is, local to my community. So you could literally double click that far. And again, call that out. If you are a woman owned business and that's something that's really meaningful to you, and you think to your recipients, because ideally it's very easy to think of yourself as the gift giver, but ideally the gift is, creating an impression on the recipient. So that's always the challenge, is to think about, how do I feel good about giving it, but how do I know that it's going to leave the positive impression that I want it to? So, there's the woman's women businesses that are certified. WeBank is, the organization, and they literally have a directory of all of these, like hundreds of women-owned businesses. So tactically, you could literally go to the webank.org website and look at their gift guide. There are local gift guides that you could use. If you're looking at supporting diverse-owned founders, whether it's, Black-owned businesses or founders, or AAPI, or LGBTQ plus, there's so many guides and compilations. And so, whatever speaks to you and or the recipient base, I feel like those are oftentimes places that you can find good gifting partners that can communicate the values that you want to, share with the gift recipients.
Yeah, yeah, good point. WeBank, which we're part of, so yeah, it's definitely a great guide. Most gift giving sites you can kind of filter out too. And I think too, be really mindful about the purpose of in the mission of the company that you choose to buy the gift from. Like for example, REI, Patagonia, Ben and Jerry's. There's a few companies that do a lot in this corporate social responsibility space that we feel proud gifting. So if
Yeah.
I, especially for my team, I just did this actually today. Thank a member of my team,
Amazing.
very outdoorsy person, supports REI, and I know they're not perfect, but still, it just felt good to like easily send a gift card to say, hey, thank you for something you did that I knew they would appreciate too. But the why behind it, like, I think this is so true of just how we give positive feedback to people. We don't get like granular enough to explain the why, like why I chose this for you or why I'm thankful for you. Leah, when circling back to the why behind it and the importance of that handwritten note, like how do you communicate to somebody like the why?
As elementary as this sounds, communicating the why is going to stand out because so many people don't take the time to communicate that. Right. So I can say we have some clients where, and we've got Fortune, 100 companies. And then what I like to say is like, a 2-person law firm in Tempe, Arizona. So we really run the gamut in terms of who buys our gifts. But,
Mhm.
we definitely have some companies where their gift message might just say happy holidays. And to the extent that our clients are open to it, we'll encourage them to share a little bit more, whether it is thanking their clients for yet another year and another contract renewal, or it's even just saying, why they're sending a packed with purpose gift versus any other gift basket. It seems so simple, and the simplicity is actually the differentiator because it is so easy to send a gift message that says happy holidays from your XYZ law firm, and taking the extra, few minutes to craft a message that says, we hope you appreciate this gift that features products from diverse owned businesses, or that includes, items from, local businesses in our hometown. It really sets the tone for what you're trying to, share. And don't assume that the recipient is connecting the dots. And so just being overt with whatever that intention is, and if it is a donation to a nonprofit, well, why did you choose that nonprofit?
Right.
Is it because, the founders of the business have an emotional and a personal tie? Or is it that this nonprofit was chosen, as a, through some kind of selection process internally, so the employees of the organization or the company find it particularly meaningful? Just adding a little bit behind the why, I think, makes the gift actually stand out and makes that connection between the gift giver and the recipient all the more powerful.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that, Leah. As you think about like the future of gift giving and these things kind of trend and go through different cycles and phases, like what are you hearing about what's next for your industry?
I think we're already seeing what I saw a handful of years ago, which is individuals that are gifting want to gift their values, or they want to gift something that actually reflects who they are. And so we're definitely seeing a lot more of, sourcing from women-owned businesses or diverse-owned businesses, or including products that have a positive impact on the environment. So I think that this is really just the start of starting to see the intentionality of what that gift is, or the gift being entirely recyclable, right? So for us, our gift box and the paper that we print on and the shred, all of that is 100% recyclable. Not every company is asking for this, but now many more companies are saying, well, what's the footprint? Because if I'm sending something that has a whole bunch of
Yeah.
plastic, that doesn't actually reflect all of the initiatives that we have internally. Or as a company that's focused on, let's say, like, uh, you know, energy efficiency or sustainable, environmental impact, I want to make sure that my gift is aligned with how we operate in our practices.
Yeah.
So I think that whatever angle that is, whether it's about, woman-owned or diverse-owned or environmental impact, or, focusing on American made, whatever that angle is, companies are now saying, my gifts aren't just throwaway in terms of whatever my budget is, whether it's 5K or, 50K or 200K,
Yeah.
and companies are definitely spending a lot of money on gifts, whether it's to their employees as they're onboarding individuals to their companies, or for their clients during the holidays. And so companies are just saying, I'm going to be as mindful and scrutinize what my gift budget looks like and who it's going to, just as I would for our office supplies or
Mhm.
for some of the other, ingredients or products in various aspects of our supply chain.
Yeah, yeah, the footprint. And yeah, I mean, if you're mailing stuff, that's what I always struggle with, like all this cardboard that we're mailing around the country, and the footprint of the gas, and the however the transportation gets there. Like, I am very mindful of that, and I always feel bad when I get a gift, the dreadful Amazon box that's crammed with all the stuff, and you're like, oh, I wish there was a better way, but you don't want things to get broken either. So, and you
Yeah.
can't walk it across the country. So
And
it's
there's definitely a balance, right? Because as a, I can say as a gifting company focused on doing good, I need to make sure that the right gift gets to the right person at the right time with the right message and the right products, where, nothing is broken and everything is presentable. And so,
yep.
yeah, there's a certain amount of shred or packaging that needs to exist, but you have to take that into account, because otherwise I can't revel and enjoy all of the good that we're creating by sourcing from social enterprises or sourcing from these women and diverse owned businesses. So it's definitely a balance, and it's not one or the other, it's both of them at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Thinking about your story and how you got into this work and the work you've done, is there a favorite gift giving story or example that you have to share? Or just
That
one that's
that's like
just top of
asking,
mind?
who's your favorite child, Julie? Um,
You don't have to pick one, but is there
yeah,
something that kind of ties it together?
okay, hopefully this doesn't feel like a cop-out answer, but I feel like this is my truthful answer. I think seeing the array of gift occasions that, hits my desk, so to speak, that is the most gratifying. Where, people will send one of our gifts, like we recently saw a gift message, and it was, from a company to one of the employees, just saying, really being there for that individual on the loss of their husband. That then comparing with someone who has been a client of ours that has sent 1,000 gifts every single holiday season, from our first holiday season to all of their clients. To then another example where someone is choosing to send a packed with purpose gift that has a real array of woman-owned, diverse-owned, veteran-owned businesses, and their intention is in, helping all of these small businesses around the country grow and, achieve their greatest fulfillment. And so each of those is totally different, but honestly, it is
Mhm.
so gratifying for us to basically have a sneak peek into why companies are gifting. And then when they're choosing Packed with Purpose, they're choosing us for a reason compared to, any other gift basket that has an assortment of treats. And knowing that they're underscoring that intention, it honestly, like, it makes us so proud and it fills us with joy every single day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. You've seen a lot of gifts cross your desk over the years. I'm sure it's
Yeah,
hard to pick the one, but there's a theme there of meaning and purpose making, and even the scalability of the 1,000 gifts. Like that's like really wow, what an impact.
totally. Yeah. And, for us, working with our clients, right? So we've been in business now. This is going into our 7th year, right? We've sent thousands of gifts. And so, if a company is buying, let's say, 25 gifts, that's 25, right? That might not seem so much, but in aggregate, when we're sending thousands of gifts out every single month and, many thousands every year, you can just see how that impact starts to, become a cumulative effect where we're being really intentional about the makers behind our products. And so,
Mhm.
for example, we source, lots of treats from a social enterprise out in the Colorado area. And they're providing employment and skills training to women who are chronically unemployed. So individuals that might be survivors of abuse or trafficking or, homelessness or just other truths that have made them chronically unemployed. It's amazing for us to put in an order of thousands of products because we've got, in aggregate, so many orders coming in from different companies across the country. So yeah, it is really gratifying because we can see the scalability of all of these individual orders coming together.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, what a unique and so desperately needed purpose that organization has already. Leeatt, it's been so fun to talk with you today. Tell our listeners how to get connected with you and Packed with Purpose.
Yeah, so you can go to our website, packedwithpurpose.gifts. So that's .gifts. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Leeatt Rothschild. Hopefully you'll follow up with some notes on the spelling of my name because it can be tricky. But yeah, we love to support all of these amazing social enterprises and small businesses across the country that are making an impact in our own backyards, right? So in so many states, in so many communities, and that's really, part of my intention in starting Packed with Purpose was there's a lot of need in, America and in communities that are, right where we live, and the intention of being able to support those founders and small businesses, it's so gratifying. And I know that for all of our customers, it's also, one of their primary motivators. How can they create an additional impact, beyond just impressing someone with a gift, but actually doing good in communities across America?
Yeah, well said. Thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Julie.
Thank you for listening to the Diversity Pivot podcast. My hope is that you walked away with a tangible tool, insight, or information that you can share with other allies on the journey. If you liked this week's episode, please leave us a review. Your feedback means a tremendous amount to us. We'll be back next week with another hot topic.